Today we are going to be reviewing and comparing two of the most popular adjustable kettlebells, one being the Bowflex 840 and the other being the JAXJOX Kettlebell Connect 2.0. We are going to find out which of these two adjustable kettlebells are best for your home gym, and we're starting right now. Hey everyone, this is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts, where we cover the latest connected fitness news, reviews, tips, and guides. So if you want more content just like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, there are two primary reasons why someone may choose to buy an adjustable kettlebell versus a set of regular non-adjustable kettlebells. The first and biggest reason is the price. The Bowflex 840 typically costs less than $150 and recently has seen a drop on Amazon for just $99. JAXJOX is a bit more pricey, coming in at $249, but to buy a set of comparable cast iron kettlebells from a quality brand like Rogue Fitness would cost $305, not including shipping, which brings the total cost up to $481. Now, the second reason many of us prefer to have an adjustable kettlebell for our home is that they simply take up less space. Not all of us, but most of us are limited in the space that we have to fit our gym space inside our home, so having a single kettlebell rather than having many is a great way to make up some room. Now, the Bowflex and JAXJOX kettlebells take up roughly the same amount of space, although the JAXJOX is slightly larger, but the price difference between these two is pretty significant, with JAXJOX being $250 and the Bowflex kettlebell generally being about half of that price, if not lower. That being said, the JAXJOX does come with a bit more tech involved with it, which we'll get into in a moment to see if it's worth that extra cost. Now, both kettlebells use a plate locking system that enables them to have 6 different weights that can be selected. The Bowflex ranges from 8 pounds to 40 pounds, and the JAXJOX ranges from 12 pounds to 42 pounds. Now, I tested both of these kettlebells weights as well to make sure they were accurate to what they were saying. And while the Bowflex weights were pretty much dead on, the JAXJOX weights were a bit off. For example, the 42 pound max weight is actually more like 41 pounds. And although it's not a crazy amount off, it's something that you should be aware of. And obviously, if you need to use heavier kettlebells for certain movements, these kettlebells still cover quite a bit of weight that you don't have to have in your home, so it's still a worthwhile investment in my opinion. Now, there are several important differences between these two kettlebells, which we'll dig into, but the most obvious and important difference is that the JAXJOX looks like it is taken from The Mandalorian. Just kidding, although not really, but the most important is how the weights are adjusted on these two kettlebells. The Bowflex uses a physical dial which you can turn to change the weight, and the JAXJOX opts to use a digital system. And this is a classic example of sometimes where more tech can actually make a product worse. See, with the Bowflex kettlebell, I can put the kettlebell down and change the weight in about 1 second. With JAXJOX, when I put it down, I have to wait about 3 to 5 seconds for it to register that the weight is even there. Then I have to press a button and then wait another 3 to 5 seconds for it all to work. And while having to wait an extra 6 to 10 seconds may not seem like a long time, it can definitely feel like a long time in the middle of a workout, especially when you think about how much easier and quicker it is to change with Bowflex's physical dial. Now, one thing that I do like more about the JAXJOX is the handle and its bell shape. See, most people that I know prefer the handle of the more traditional kettlebell, which both of these do not have, and so they are a bit smoother, which can make the grip a bit more slippery. But to me, JAXJOX felt a little bit more grippier and a little bit less likely to fall out of my hands when they got sweaty. Also, the handles with the JAXJOX are a bit wider, which makes it easier to do certain movements like goblet squats. Although I can definitely see these handles being a bit too wide for somebody smaller, as I could definitely feel them hitting my inner legs when I would do kettlebell swings. Whereas I didn't feel that at all on the Bowflex kettlebell. Also, having the bell a bit bigger and wider means it has a bigger surface area, which does allow the JAXJOX to feel a bit more comfortable against your forearm, when you have it in an upright position, like when you're doing cleans or snatches or presses. Now, the big selling point of the JAXJOX Kettlebell is that it's supposed to be high tech and be able to track your weights, your sets, and your reps all within their app. Now, first off, before I really dig into this, I do want to say something nice about JAXJOX's app, and that is that the kettlebell classes here are some of the best that I have ever found so far on any connected fitness platform in terms of the quality and quantity of kettlebell-based classes. There are tons of educational classes to learn form and movement, and just a lot of variety in terms of strength and conditioning classes, all utilizing the kettlebell. And yes, it costs $12.99 per month, which I actually don't have a problem with, as long as they continue to provide new quality content like this on a regular basis. Bowflex also has an optional app called Journey, but it doesn't provide nearly as much kettlebell content as JAXJOX does, and the kettlebell classes on that platform are not coached nearly as well. That being said, the JAXJOX Kettlebell itself does not work with that app at all. For one, just being able to connect the kettlebell to the app is super finicky. Most of the time I had to unpair or uninstall and reinstall the app just to try to get the kettlebell to pair with the app. And once it was paired, I still wasn't able to get it to work to count my reps or sets or any of that. And I tried to do this for over a week. I contacted their support, I called them during their hours. Nobody ever answered, I left messages, and nobody ever got back to me. So I looked around online to see if there were any other reviewers who were able to use JAXJOX successfully, and I really couldn't find any. And the only reviews that said they didn't really have any pictures or videos of it actually working. So at this point, I'm inclined to say it just doesn't work. And even if you can get it to work, it seems like it would have very limited function. And so honestly, I just don't think the JAXJOX Kettlebell is worth it at this more expensive price point. Even if you wanted to take the JAXJOX Kettlebell classes, which I suggest you definitely check out because they are really good, I would suggest going ahead and buying the Bowflex Kettlebell for about $100 and then taking the JAXJOX classes with that. I mean, even if JAXJOX somehow lowered their price to be comparable with Bowflex's, I would probably still choose the Bowflex over it just because it's much more convenient and quicker to change the weights with the physical dial. Although it would be pretty close because, again, I do like JAXJOX's handle and bell shape a little bit more and find it a bit more comfortable to use. Now, besides the JAXJOX app, there are not a ton of other places where you can get really high quality kettlebell content. So what I have found to be the best option is to have customized workouts developed and written for me by a coach who knows me and my goals, and you can learn all about how you can get a coach like that here. Make sure to check it out and let me know which kettlebell you plan on getting in comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.